Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Today we are going to talk about how to pick the best residency program for you. Let's get into it. So as the making of this video, we're at that time where fourth year medical students are getting ready to submit their residency applications. Now with that comes a lot of nervousness, and in this video I'm going to break down kind of what type of things you should be considering regardless if you're applying this cycle or upcoming, as well as giving you a really cool tool. So make sure you stay with that to know and being able to rank which program is going to be the best fit for you ultimately. So the first thing I recommend you do before you even start to look at the programs you're interested in is to really come up with your initial priority list. To really understand the best place for you to go, you have to understand the things that are most valuable to you. And some of these things include things like locations or geography, like what part of the country or the world are you okay with practicing in, as well as things like how variable can you be with your salary. Are you okay with a lower salary for a place that's more desirable, or do you want your salary because you have kids or somebody who's depending on you? And other things that we'll get into in this video include some of the minutiae of an actual program, like how is it structured? Is it designed in a way where you're going to be able to perform well, still have that nice work-life balance ideally, as well as things like can you obtain enough things like mentorship or career opportunities so eventually when you leave residency, you're set up for success. So I encourage you for those 5 things, whether it be salary, geography, structure of a program, career mentorship opportunities, as well as your overall fit within a program. Prioritize which one would be the most valuable to you, and then I promise you we'll get back to it because that tool is going to be able to help rank you on which program is going to be the best fit for you. Now the next thing we need to talk about is how you look at programs in the first place. Yes, there's going to be some programs in your geographic vicinity that you're going to be well aware of, or some programs that have high prestige that you also be aware of. But maybe there is a golden program for you out there that you just have never heard of in your life, and it's best that you actually make yourself aware. So how do you do that? So there's 3 to 4 different places that I recommend to kind of do your research. One of them is Frida, which is a resource that's provided by the AMA. Now it's not free, so you do have to pay for it, but it's basically an entire database of all of the residency programs out there and the various specialties. And it's really dependent on how well a residency program does to keep up with their information on Frida, but it's essentially a database. So you'll be able to look up on things like salaries, structures, the different hospitals that they work at, as well as other information that program thought it would be important for you to know. And it is a paid service. I encourage you at the end of your 3rd year, the start of your 4th year, to sign up for Frida and use the database to really come up with a master list of all the programs that seem interesting to you. And then you can also look at some of the other resources to give you a better fit of which one's going to be the best fit for you. Now, the next way that I would recommend to research residency programs is to use Doximity. Now, let me just kind of give you an inside look. If you're not familiar with Doximity, it's a great website for both medical students as well as actual providers. And so if you have some kind of EDU website associated with your institution, you can create an account. So this is the one I have, and they actually have within their tool section, amongst various other things, a residency navigator. And so you can use this to research the various different fields that you're in. So if I'm going into internal medicine like I am, then I can look at the various different types of programs, and you can do it based off of various different criteria. So things like reputation, well, keep in mind that that's a little bit subjective, but they actually do a pretty good job here of telling you which one is the best programs here. But then you can also do things like location, which is what I did. So for example, I wanted to stay in the state of Texas, and so I was able to see not only the programs I was aware of, as well as some of the smaller community programs I wasn't aware of, but may have been a better fit for me just because it was in a nice location. And so if you click on any program, so we'll just click on the one here at Austin because that's where I was from, you can get an idea of basically how their year is structured depending on the various different hospitals that they work at, as well as what kind of fellowship programs that they have at that residency program in case you're interested in staying. And then most importantly, you can also get an idea of what current as well as past alumni can get in terms of feedback of what they thought of the individual program. And then finally, you can get other important values such as like the median home value if you're trying to buy a house in residency, as well as things like how much rent will be, which this is actually a little bit cheaper than what is in Austin. So just keep in mind, because I've lived there in my life, these may all not be completely accurate, but it is a kind of information to start, and you can use this to store it with that important tool, which we'll talk about in just a second. And then lastly, you can look at the information of the people like the program coordinators as well as the program directors, and then have a good idea as well as be able to click on their individual websites and then be able to read more about the individual program. And that gets us in the last way of really knowing about a program. Once you kind of have your database of what programs you're interested in, then you can kind of create an Excel sheet, which I'll kind of show you in a second. But you can go into their website to understand what that program values, as well as understanding who in that program is considered to be somebody who's kind of higher up, including their chief residents, and then also kind of understanding the curriculum and other kind of details that would be important to you. So that gets me into the tool that you can use to really understand if a program is for you. Now, this is basically an Excel sheet that I've created that's absolutely free. I'll link it down out below. It's going to be within the MedVault, so that's a collection of free resources that I've created throughout the past few years for medical students. So not only will you have access to this spreadsheet as I update it, as well as other resources that I've added, as well as continue to add in the future, that'll be linked down below. All you have to do is just sign up with your email. But basically what you can do is, as you're going through your programs, whether it be through your research or after you're going through interviews, you can always come back to it. You can add your list of programs here, and hopefully you guys enjoy some of the names that I placed. But the most important thing is, like I mentioned, understand your priorities of the things like location, salary, structure, mentorship, community, and like fit, and basically give it a score. And here in this example, just to make the math simple, I asked that you score it from a 1 to 10, and you can basically ask, okay, like what's the most important thing for me? For me in residency, it was like the location I was in, because I wanted to be close to my family and make sure that my wife, who we were newly married, didn't have to like move across the country after leaving her family. And so location was huge. Salary was important, but like not the biggest thing on my list. And then things like mentorship opportunities were important, but also not the highest thing on my list. And you can add more things or replace some of the things. But basically what we'll do is then now when you go into an individual program and you give it a grade, like MD Journey University, for example, may have a location of a 10 versus Smash That Like button may only have a 3. And once you start adding your various scores through your research, you'll essentially be able to get a final score that is weighted by how you ranked these various things. So just because something has a 10 multiple times, like here, for example, it may still be ranked at your bottom program just because the thing that you value the most is going to have the least score. So this is just a very kind of geeky way for me to use Excel to help you kind of rank your various kind of residency programs in. And again, you can do this on the research phase and then come back, and after you go to the interview phase and the programs you do interview at, you can add your notes and then update your scores. And so this will ideally be a useful tool for you guys as you're getting closer to kind of putting your rank list for match. And if you guys are interested in learning how the match process works, I've made a video step-by-step on exactly how to do that. You guys can check that out below over there, as well as down below in the description. Now, once you've actually ranked your individual priorities as well as research programs, and then classified them according to your priorities, a few things that are important to actually kind of find your best residency program, like I feel like I personally have. One thing that I would remember is understanding that fit is super important. Yes, location is important. Yes, salary is important. But honestly, if there is a program where you are going to be a better fit and it's just going to be like a family camaraderie situation, your 3 years of residency are going to feel like you're around friends all the time versus colleagues and people that you just have to work with. There's a big difference coming to work with people that you actually enjoy. I love my colleagues. I love my residents, my interns, my second years, as well as my attendings and fellows. And so I feel like work is a place that doesn't always feel like work. I mean, it feels like a place that we're all kind of growing and learning and having challenges together. That fit is super important. So on your interview day, on your residencies, on the actual webpage, try to understand if the values of that program, the values of the people there, fit with the things that you also value. Next, also remember that balance is super key. Going to a program of 2 equal calibers, but one does a better job of prioritizing your kind of wellness, whether it be giving you more days off or not making you work ridiculous hours or giving you a nice balance between things like ICU or busy surgery hours. Keep all of that in mind because again, they're 2 equally caliber programs in terms of training, job opportunities, location. You may want to pick the one that gives you the better lifestyle balance. And sometimes the best way to know this is to actually talk to the individual residents there. And so again, you can look at the reviews and things like Doximity, as well as when you're on your residency trail, ask them like, would you have picked this program again? How happy are you? How well is your life and work balance? And people that are actually truly honest will give you a good picture of what that means. And then you can take their feedback and add those to your notes on that Excel sheet that again will be linked down below to really understand, okay, is this a program that is going to fit with my values and my free time and desires? And then finally understand that your training, most of all, is the most important thing. If you're going to go through X amount of years of residency, you want to make sure that you become the best physician possible and not just like below average or average. And so that was the thing for me when I ranked them. Yes, location was super important, but I wanted to become the best damn doctor possible in 3 years because I had to do residency anyways. I want to as well become the best version of myself. And so that's why I looked at programs that were at equal calibers and then asked myself, okay, like these programs over here, I feel like I would get great training at. Now, which one ranks better in terms of location and salary and fit? But I started not to really look at programs that didn't actually give me that ability to become a great physician. And so while it may seem enticing of saying, oh, this program offers a better salary or has a better location or has a really cush or chill schedule, you may want to say, okay, like, is that really what I want? Do I want 3 easy years to kind of not have the best training and become a less adequate physician? Again, all residency programs will train you, but they may not all train you equally well. So keep that in line. You want to have the best training first, and then prioritize the rest of the things that we talked about earlier in this video. But that, guys, is basically how I'd recommend step-by-step on how to choose the best residency program for you, whether it comes to prioritizing your values first, putting the programs and how to do the research, and then finally you can use tools like that Excel sheet. Like once you've gotten your subjective of what matters to you out of the way, then you can just start putting numbers in to really get a hone of like, okay, like in reality, that's the best program for me based off what I think to be important. And you don't have to feel like you're torn, because then you can just say like, okay, like that one's number 1 and that one's clearly number 7. While it may feel like it's a close tie, this one clearly has the best of the things that I value. So hopefully, guys, this video helped you out in picking the best residency program for you. If you guys have any more questions, you know where to find me. Drop your comments down below. DM me on Instagram. Send me an email at themdjourney.com@gmail.com. I'd be happy to answer your questions or make future videos about that. And on that note, if you do want a personalized answer to your question, if you look in the links below in the description, you'll find a Q&A link. It will be a survey. Basically, if you use that survey and you drop your name and email, you basically can ask me a question. I will send you a video reply to your individual question. And if it's helpful to other people, I'll also share it here on YouTube so other people can benefit from your question. And if you're watching this video and you're still pretty early on the process before you get a residency and you want to increase the chances of getting into that dream residency you always wished of, check out some of the programs that we have down below for you, as well as the free ones like the Med Vault, as well as some of the step-by-step programs like the Med School Domination Bundle, or things like the Crushing Clinicals program if you're later on in your rotations. And if you have any questions about any of the programs or any of the videos or any of the things regarding residency, drop them in the comment section. Before you click off this video, go ahead and hit that like button down below. Helps the video out, helps the channel out, also gets this video out in front of more people. So super grateful if you do so. And if you're new to this channel, or if you've just been lurking around, consider hitting that subscribe button as well as notification bell to be informed when new videos just like this one come out live. But with that being said, guys, thank you so much for watching this video. Again, if you want access to that Excel sheet, it'll be linked down below, absolutely free. But until then, guys, if you did enjoy this video, check out this video on how you can use Anki like a pro to help you in your medical school journey, as well as this kind of playlist right here to help you on your whole residency pathway. And as always, thank you for being a part of my journey. Hopefully I was a little help to you guys on yours, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace, my friends.